Jeremiah is a long book and it features a lot of unfamiliar people and locations. So where does it fit in time and place? Jeremiah was a son of a priest in Jerusalem who prophesied from 627 to 586 BC, 41 years in total. This is long after people like Abraham and Moses, and about 400 years after King David. At this time, the northern kingdom of Israel no longer existed. Previously, there had been a united kingdom under David and Solomon, and then a split into two, north and south. But in 722 BC, the northern kingdom was destroyed by Assyria. So now there's just the southern kingdom of Judah. Its capital was Jerusalem, where the kings lived in a palace, and Solomon's temple was there, and that served as a national place of worship. At the time, the most powerful empires were Babylon in the east and Egypt in the west. Assyria was now in decline and soon to disappear. But there were still other smaller nations around Judah, such as Edom, Moab, Ammon, Philistia, and Syria. Jeremiah prophesied during the reign of 5 kings from the line of David. You can read about them in 2 Kings, chapters 22 to 25. The most important of these are Jehoiakim and Zedekiah, but let's run through all 5. The first is Josiah, who reigned when Jeremiah was commissioned by God as a teenager. He reigned from 640 to 609 BC and was mostly a good king. Next was Jehoahaz, who only reigned for 3 months before being captured and taken to Egypt by Pharaoh Necho. The third king was Jehoiakim, another son of Josiah, who reigned for 11 years from 609 to 597. He was killed by the Babylonians in their first attack on Jerusalem. The fourth king was Jehoiakim, son of Jehoiakim. Like Jehoahaz, he only reigned 3 months before being taken to Babylon by King Nebuchadnezzar. The last king in Jeremiah and the last king of Judah was Zedekiah, who was yet another son of Josiah. He reigned 11 years from 597 to 587, and then King Nebuchadnezzar also took him as a prisoner to Babylon. Most of the narrative and prophecy in Jeremiah happened during the reign of these 2 11-year kings, Jehoiakim and Zedekiah. Jeremiah was there in Jerusalem this whole time, prophesying to kings and priests and officials and the regular people, warning them of judgment and calling them to come back to God. And there were 2 big events during this time. The first was that exile to Babylon in 597, when Nebuchadnezzar carried away Jehoiakim and various leaders, princes and officials to Babylon and installed King Zedekiah. The second big event was the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple in 587, also by Nebuchadnezzar. At this time, barely anything in Jerusalem remained. Jeremiah himself ended up going to Egypt with a handful of other Jews. An important thing to realize is that the book of Jeremiah is often organized by theme rather than time. That means we sometimes move from Zedekiah, King 5 in our list, back in time to Jehoiakim, King 3. We also move around from the early, middle or later years of these 2 kings. What matters in the book are the themes on view rather than a strict chronology. In our section for this series, chapters 25 to 34, we spend most of our time during the reigns of Jehoiakim and Zedekiah. The prophecies in chapters 30 to 31 are not dated, so we can't be sure when they were given. So there you have it, a super brief overview of Jeremiah in history.